Hi, this is Angela from the Tech Teach Grow team with another tech tip for you this week. This week's tech tip is going to be about how to add a dropdown to your Google Docs. Before I get started with how to create a dropdown, let's talk about what dropdowns are. So dropdowns are building templates that are building block pieces that are built into Google Doc. They can be used in a variety of tables and ways. First is the project tracker, which this is a default build from Google that just comes in with steps, and you can label them as not started, in progress, or launched, and record notes. With a dropdown, it allows people to quickly switch. Editors can be able to choose things that are going on. Another example you might use in a classroom is you could assign each of your students a reading log where you have preset the different genres students might need to read between, as well as some of the statuses, whether they've started a book or not started but planning, reading, finished, or if it's a book that's abandoned, and change the color coding so that students can update their own reading logs. What's great about this is when they need a new row, they just click tab and it automatically creates the row with those drop downs built right in. Another example is if you're trying to track during student work time, you could have a list of the students and give them access to this, and they can go in and change how they are doing, whether they are working alone, whether they have finished the assignment, if they need help. Maybe they need help, but they have a question, but they can keep working. If you keep this up, it'll let you know who you need to go check in with and what they're supposed to be doing. Another example that you may or may not have seen is Monday Notes from the district now have these built in, but admin could do this as well for their schools or even in your classrooms, where you have different items and you can label them whether they're FYI, just an informational piece, there's the actions required, if it's a request that you're having, if it's something that needs to be kept confidential. And so it quickly can tag people with colors and words to know what they need to do with the information. Another great example could be if you have students that are having some behavior issues, you can create your check-in, check-out sheets and assign both emojis and colors for how they're doing at that time, or a blank one if it hasn't been filled in. And then there's a space for comments. So this can be shared out. And at a quick visual, you can see how a student's day. Another example, maybe if you are an office manager collecting a lunch order. So this was an example from Chipotle. You have the staff names down along the side and they can decide whether they're going to have a burrito, a salad, or a bowl, what type of meat they want, and if they're going to have any salsa. And it just quickly lets them know their options, they choose them, and it formats it. Great, now that you've seen some ideas of how you can use Dropdown, how does one create it? First of all, there's two ways you can get there. You can do it from the Insert menu, go down to Dropdown, and there's the new Dropdown, or anywhere in the document you can type the Dropdown, and it comes right up. From here, there are the ones that are pre-programmed within there, which is our project status or review status. If those are close to what you're wanting, you can just click one of those. It puts it right in here. When you click back onto there, you can change them, or if you click on, you can add or edit options. From here, you can decide that maybe you want under review to be purple and approved to be a dark green. You can change those options. You can add a new option, color it what you need to, type the category here, and save. And now those changes have happened. However, if those are not the ones you're wanting to do, when you click at Dropdown, you can choose a new option. From here, you can give it a name. For example, if it was student check-in, maybe you want to create one with your class about how are they feeling. The first option is what it will default to. So if you know your students might have a hard time knowing that they could choose an option, you can leave this one as, you can title this something like, how are you feeling? And leaving that just the gray color. Then, if we went to do emojis, we can right click, emoji, and you could do, I am happy. I am, yes. Right click, emoji. And you can go through here. We know excited might be a yellow zone. I am ready to learn, green. I am sad being blue. And you can change those colors and you save it. Now it's how are you feeling? And they can drop in. You can do that same thing with steps in the writing process. These drop downs can be customized to use however you want. When you want to reuse one, when I'm in another spot, if I type the at drop down, you'll see that the student check-in is there again, so I can copy it. If I were to edit on this one and add a new option of scared and save, when it saves, it lets me decide, do I want to change that on all of the drop downs that are in this property or just this instance? So if I say apply to all, it will change it both in this drop down here and this drop down here. So if that's an edit you're making to something you're working for the whole class, that can be great. If it's an edit you're making for just that one question, like if you were to do a close read using this as this drop down as your choices, you might just do it for the instance. I hope this helps. If you need extra support with it, please reach out to the Tech Teach Grow team. We're always here to help.